Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at a problem where you have to do some simplifying of number expressions using order of operations and such. So I'm taking this problem from CPM's course 2, okay, and this is actually from the closure chapter for closure, okay. Number specifically closure 4-126. So if you remember our order of operations, I'm going to put them over here. We've got parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, oops, that's an S, add, subtract, right? So parentheses are your grouping symbols, okay? Grouping symbols. And that's parentheses, brackets, braces, anything of that sort. E is your exponents, okay? Your power, base and powers. And then MD, that's your multiply, divide. And when it comes to multiply and divide, remember, it doesn't mean multiply first and divide second all the time. It's just you're going to go from left to right, right? From left, so whatever comes first, left to right. It could be divide, then multiply, depends on left to right. And then the same thing with this one. This is add, subtract. So your addition and subtraction. And that is also left to right. So whatever's first, left to right. Okay. So if we look at this problem here, first of all, I've got this big division bar, right? This is a fraction bar, which is really also means division. So if I were to rewrite this and what I'm seeing here, I'm saying 3 plus -7 all divided by -2. So it's almost as if I'm gonna just show you, because this means 3 plus -7 all divided by -2, right? I first have to do the addition, because if you look at this, I'm basically putting that in grouping symbols in parentheses. You do what's on top before you divide. Divided by -2. Okay, so you do what's on top, then divide by -2. So what I have here is 3 plus -7, and that's -4. Then I divide by -2, right? So it's all divided by after you get that number there. So -4 divided by -2 is +2. So there's our answer for A. So then I have the same thing here. I have another situation where it's all this top is all divided by the bottom. And again, it's almost as if these are both in grouping symbols, like you're going to do what's on top, do what's on bottom, then divide, right? So you don't do the division until you've got one number on top, one number on bottom. So what we have here is 4 minus 16, right? When you take a small minus a big, right? If you think about it on a number line, there's my 0, here's +4. I'm subtracting 16. I'm going this direction. I'm subtracting, so it's getting smaller. Subtracting 16. Well, I'm going to go over 0, and I'm going to get into the negative zones. All right, so 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on and so forth. So really what you're doing is you're taking the subtraction for 16 minus 4, but you're going to get a negative answer. So it's -12 on top. And then here I have -2 times -2. When you have a little parenthesis next to a number, that means multiplication. -2 times -2. When you multiply negatives, you actually get a positive. So 2 times 2 is 4. So it's +4. So now I have -12 divided by 4, right? Remember, this means -12. When you have that fraction bar, it also means division. So -12 divided by 4 is -3. A negative divided by a positive is negative, and then you just divide the numbers 12 by 4. Okay. Number 5. All right, 5. Now we look to see we do have some grouping symbols, some parentheses, and the parentheses are got a couple things happening. First of all, I've got to do some work inside of them. You only do parentheses first if there's work to be done inside. Over here, I know I'm skipping ahead, but over here I have parentheses, but there's no work inside. They're already single numbers. Those parentheses are indicating multiplication. So I would be down to this step here. So, but here I do have work to be done inside. All right. So inside this set of parentheses here, I have 2 plus -9. 2 and -9. Remember, when you're adding positives and negatives, there's some cancellation. The positives cancel the negatives, and what's left is just 7 negatives. What you do is subtract the numbers, and you keep the sign of the larger absolute value here. So there's negative 9. So 9 minus 2 is 7, and there's more negatives, so it's negative 7. So I'm going to keep the parentheses, though, because I still have something going on here, a number in front of it, right? So I'm going to rewrite what I have. So I have this 5 parentheses negative 7. That means multiplication plus negative 25. So now I'm done my grouping symbols. There's no exponents. So I'm down to multiply, divide, and I do have multiplication here. So 5 times negative 7 is negative 35 plus negative 25. Now I'm at addition. And when I'm adding two negatives, I'm just basically saying I've got negative 35 plus another negative 25. It's more negatives. Adding all the negatives together gives you negative 60. Okay. It's as if I owe somebody $35 and I owe somebody else $25. Together, I'm in debt $60. There we go. Okay. Last one here. This one, if we think about our operations, I have multiplication, addition, multiplication, subtraction, multiplication. So what comes first? Multiplication. Remember, it's left to right. So I'm just going left to right. So negative 3 times 4 is negative 12 plus 5 times 4 is 20 minus. I'm leaving the pluses and minuses and just doing the multiplication. 2 times 7 is 14. Now I'm at the add and subtract, and I go left to right. In this case, it is addition before subtraction. So those two add. Be looking at the negative 12 and a positive 20. Remember, when you have a negative and a positive, there's some cancellation. Negatives and positives cancel when you try to add them. So really it's subtraction. 20 minus 12 is 8. And I look to see, are there more negatives or more positives? There's negative 12, positive 20. There's more positives, so my answer is positive. So now I have a positive 8 minus 14. One more of these situations where I'm taking a small, right? If I'm here on the number line, I'm at 8. I'm taking 8 and I'm subtracting 14. So it's going to end up going over 0 into the negatives, right? So what I do is I just subtract the numbers. 14 minus 8 is 6, but it's going to be in the negative zone. So it's negative 6. All right. There you go.